Man. Hello, that is loud in my headset. It probably sounds fine on stream, but that was very loud in my headset. Start stream, music immediately. How about I immediately crescendo? Like, no. Hello, Les, and hello, Red, and hello, Speedy. It was funny, it's like I literally just started like man, and suddenly the music's just like hello Ringo Shonen, and hello Scarf. Well, we're finally back playing chapter 13. We literally did 2 parts. I finished at stage 6 and hadn't been touched it in 3 or 4 months. Which happens sometimes. Yes, I know I capitalized is and it made it sound like IS. I did not mean for that to be the case. I should have capitalized happening as well, so it had been a bit more obvious, but oh well. How are you? Currently bashing the head against 30, against Hell Stage. Ah, yeah, fair. I haven't done a single Hell Stage yet. I'm doing good. I am very eepy. But yeah, I've pretty much... yeah, I don't think I have anything else I need to do, so I'm having a look. Ugh. I already dislike how that looks. Led to pursue the uncally old... Uncally? Okay. The uncanny altar is in operation. Destroy it. Okay, so blood calling altar releases a pulse wave that absorbs all blood amber within range and converts them into bloodborne spawn. Damn, we get bloodborne in Arknights before we get PC remaster. Bomb loading point. Pay deployment point costs to activate it, deploying an anti-witchcraft repositionable bomb. Okay. I need to pop out the chat because as I was reading that, I completely realised that I had absolutely nothing. There we go. Okay, that should be everything. So let's go right into it. Might as well have a look at that. Okay, yeah. So we've I'm guessing the tutorial also doubles up as a showing off him. I'm guessing that's the altar there. Or maybe the blood amber comes from that, and... Is it one of those, perhaps, where you have to stop it from getting to the other thing? I have never used Vermil. I forgot they were adding cutscenes to tutorials now. You have to push the bomb into the altar. Oh, we're playing Overwatch then. Okay. How absurd it is that we're chasing illusions on this battlefield full of bones, blood, smoke, and mud. The illusions are our only clue. Like the Lich said, the drifting fragments of history are the tracks it left behind. We passed through many ruins, some long forgotten, some never remembered to begin with. Soon, these sites will be gone too. Many times we have barely arrived in time to grasp the last traces. Also, if I start talking weird, it's because there's like an ulcer underneath my tongue, like right in the corner, like the back of my tongue, and it's annoying. We found 17 vampire war art circles. That doesn't sound good. There are maybe dozens more, maybe even hundreds more of them on this battlefield. A million more well on their way. They all appeared within the past week, a scary level of efficiency. We found troop tracks on 2 of them, but the marks indicated that the troops were only on maintenance or patrol missions. I doubt there's much point to destroying the arc circles. They could easily replace them with new ones. It's only that much more important to take control of that thing, whatever it is. This place is completely ruined. Just like the Rhode Islanders said, it's another secret network of routes that lead into the city. Through these hubs, Teresa's has shipped huge amounts of steel, crystal units, and witchcraft devices into Londinium, enough to repair the shard and complete that airship. But how did these materials reach Londinium? Even the dumbest dukes wouldn't let large shipments of material outside their control to travel freely around Victoria. Well, I would assume the existence of these tunnels would be so that they wouldn't know. It's probably that they, like the Naxxter King's Legion, appeared out of thin air around the hubs. The so-called Sarkaz supply line we've been looking for may be the last and least important step of the transport process. Ah, I see. So they teleported all of the equipment in like the Protoss from StarCraft. I think they teleport, don't they? Oh. How did they do it? Yes, they did. Okay. Not only that, if Teresa's had access to methods like this, why isn't he using them directly in battle? That makes a lot of sense, to be honest. If you could transport large amounts of material just to and fro like this, you'd think you'd do it to instantly move troops and such like that, or just weapons. If you could like, I don't know if it's teleportation, but like if you could basically just fast travel material to a place without anyone knowing, you could do the same to like a bomb and just teleport a bomb into an enemy encampment. It would be terrifying. Oh, wow, literally. It's nice to know that I think like a mercenary, I guess. Teleporting armies behind enemy lines, or plopping Reginium bombs right on top of ducal flagships. Either there are limitations to the method, or it's really fragile. I mean, I suppose teleporting living material, you might splatter them across the floor or something. That is always a risk with teleportation in some media. And maybe the teleportation is a bit too aggressive and you would end up blowing up a bomb like right in your face if you tried to do it. That could be a limitation. The Lich called it an art beyond the realm of Reginium arts, but I just couldn't picture it. It'd be funny if they're using demon magic. You know, an art beyond the realm of Reginium arts. I only thing I could think of at the moment, besides, I guess, the spirits. The spirits, so they have... Although isn't that a Reginium art that they're just really strong with? Or was that a separate magic? I can't quite remember. But if not them, the only other magic I can think of that isn't Reginium arts would be demon magic. Which would be funny, because I have been equating the war in Victoria to guardsmen fighting against chaos in Warhammer, so it would be kind of funny if it turns out they are using... W, over there. Huh? Oh, no sign of battle. It's completely collapsed. W has looked detached ever since that encounter a few days ago. I saw her gaze absent-mindedly into the file while on night watch. I can't help her. She'll get through this on her own. I mean, it is pretty heartbreaking to see your crush on the side of evil, I suppose. Let's go. There's nothing to see here. I mean, I'm assuming it's referring to that when everyone saw Teresa alive. Or alive in big quotation marks, because I'm fairly certain it's lich magic or something. I look at the map in my hand. Scattered dots mark the locations of the vampire art circles. I added a few, including the logistics hub just now, and an Axeter King's Legion camp. Something had been placed there using the same methods. There must be something linking them. I scan the names on the map. Hills, valleys, small patches of forest, and a few small ponds. Wow, it really is Victoria, isn't it? Some sort of commonality? Shared geographical traits? My eyes fall upon the name of a town, Brentwood. Isn't Brentwood where we've been, like, holed up in? Like, we sort of... Everyone was in... You know, like Rhode Island and Horn. They were in Brentwood. That was the town being sieged, right? Is it not? Which town was it then? Oh, I'm trying to think now. What was the town called? I thought it was Brentwood, because I recognised the name. Châtelet? Maybe, yeah. Okay. Weird. Why does Brentwood sound so familiar then? Unless it's actually a real town in England and I just, in the deepest recesses of my mind, only just remembered that. Maybe think of remembering Hollywood Rankwood? Maybe, but it's more so the Brent part that's reminding me. Like I said, it might just be that there is a name elsewhere and it's reminding me of that. Unless it's been mentioned in an event, but I don't think so. I don't know. And as you said that Rhode Island analysed the intel from the Defence Forces command tower, where they had set their sights near a town by the name of Brentwood. Oh, no, it has been... Oh, was it the place... No, it wasn't the place where... No, the place with the airship, that was called something else. Because I kept calling it something else. Okay, Brentwood must have been mentioned before then, if they're talking about Rhode Island, because we must have... That might have been where I seen it then. Norport, yeah. Because I used to keep calling it Newport, which is actually a place. I don't know. Maybe they did mention it previously, then. And that's just how I seen it. I draw a circle around Brentwood's location. Closure came up with the analysis. She stole the records of all cargo movement since Teresis entered the city in 1094, and created an overlapping route map. All the towns around Londinium were covered in these cargo movements on the map. It's Victoria's capital, after all. All the steak and wine the citizens enjoyed before the war don't grow on the shelves. But the area around Brentwood is strangely empty, with only a few scattered entries around 1094 and 1095. It's pretty weird, like there's a forgotten town right here in the middle of Victoria. The Rhode Islanders think Brentwood might be the starting point of the Sarkaz Underground Railroad, okay, or the hub of a hidden network, implementing some sort of secret embargo. We just proved the existence of these logistics hubs, but we also learned that Teresis has a pair of, well, invisible hands, which lets him put things anywhere he wants. We may need to reassess the significance of Brentwood. No. The closer we get, the more vampire art circles we see. Meanwhile, if we draw a line from the furthest point to Brentwood, we see that they're about equidistant. That may be the limit, or that may be the logistical limit. Stop guessing. I know Brentwood. You couldn't hide anything in that poor-ass town. There were barely any Sarkaz vagrants when I visited a few months ago. Maybe the caravans just don't pass through because there's nothing interesting there. W disinterestedly throws a rock over. She's in a bad mood, alright. She would normally have thrown a grenade pin. The rock rolls on the map and falls right where I'm looking. I'm about to move it out of the way. There's a patch of hills not far behind Brentwood. The rock fell right in the middle of the icons representing hills. Wow, the map became 3D. Let's go. It's not like we have any better leads. Maybe coincidence has something in mind. Let's start there. The hills are dark and eerie, and conveniently looking like a hallway. A Victorian history book wrote that the study of history is like walking into a cave, feeling the grains on the wall. Working blindly in the dark, all you can do is try to piece together the puzzle of where we came from by feeling around in the darkness. This land is not friendly to history. Originium veins assimilate any organic tissue around them, even bones. All that archaeologists had to work with are originium-infested ruins. All they could do is mull over metal shards. But we are different. We are Sarkaz. We have many ways to look back. Legends say that the revenants in the furnace of Kazdel whisper the achievements of a certain king of Sarkaz, or the sad ending of another. The revenants kind of sound like machine spirit. It says in the furnace as well. When I was little, I used to wait by the furnace at night that never went out, hoping to capture a single echo from the past. But all I ever heard was silence. And what's she doing there? You might actually be right. There's something unusual about the shadows here. There seems to be a pattern in the chaos. I mean, Tin Man is a revenant possessing a robot body, isn't he? I suppose so, yeah. Although I don't think there's any robotic parts in him. I think it's just purely a metal body. There seems to be a pattern in the chaos. I wasn't sure if I read that or not. It's like the ripples created by a sailing ship, overlapping and interfering with one another until there's nothing left but entropy. Not so much sailing as drifting. Drifting. I once heard a story from an old Diablo. Oh, what, from 1 or 2? This world came up in his broken whispers. Word, rather, not world. What story? A story of disaster. Well, it's a Sarkaz. What other story would it be? Let's hope we don't run into the stuff of those stories. Oh, maybe they are talking about demons or something of the like. Could you imagine trying to feed an airship? Let's hope we still have some good luck left in the bank. A merc who thinks he's lucky is a dead merc. Which is why we need you to stay behind, W. We're not here to fight. We need to figure out what we're facing. If things go south and we need to pull out... don't worry, I won't leave the way you open... I won't leave the way you open for you. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, it is kind of funny the way they write Diablo in that way, because it does basically say, yeah, the alpha below. I'll set up the explosives and wait until you're almost at the exit. Vampires and Naxxir hot on your tail. Maybe Teresa's himself. And just as you're about to see the light, boom. You'll become the tragic hero right out of your favourite stories, Hodera. You can't handle Teresa on your own, W. Oof. Ooh, right there, right in the... Ooh, right in the ego there. Inez, I'll actually bury you, you know. You do you. He really will blow the hills apart, though. We both know she's crazy. No need to provoke her with Teresa's name. That's just pathetic. The act she's putting on. I'd rather she knew what she wanted. You've been in the city for so long. If she wanted to know the truth, she could have just asked you. Did she ever ask what Teresa was... if that Teresa was real? She never asked me either. She's never grown up. She could do one of two things. Grovel at that Teresa's feet and beg for forgiveness, or plan to kill her. But what is this that she's doing? Trying to prove that she's all great and powerful? Or is she trying to convince herself that nothing ever happened? That all she needs to do is kill people and plant mines like she always has, and it'll all pass? It would have been fine if she could actually stop thinking about it, but right now, she's like a little girl standing on the ice. She takes a few steps forward, then a few steps back, looking around the same place, sinking into the pointless sentimentality. I have no idea. Give me a break. You know, you just don't want the extra trouble. I didn't know you cared so much about her. I care about me. I don't want to die because of her. In all seriousness, Inez, have you ever thought about going back to Casdil? What? Am I in the way of your great plan? No, it's just occurred to me that W and I have a reason to stay in this war. But what about you? I've got my reasons too. Here we are. Wall. And a road. We're inside the hill. They hollowed out the whole thing? Well, that's going to make things easier for W's demolition plan. Look at the size of these tracks. And the loading mechanism. That's a big guy. Get into the shadows. This would also have to be partly underground as well if that's a hill. When's the next shift? Close. It's always on time. I should have made a report to the boss. I would rather be outside killing Victorians. You're not a warrior. I don't need you to tell me. It's just that this place is so oppressive. I see those illusions every day. The things you don't know whether they're real or not. Ooh. It's like a maelstrom that keeps spitting out trash from another dimension. What is that? Is that supposed to be like Ursula? I feel like next thing I'm going to make a sh sound because I recognize that from, like, I don't know, Czech. But I'm just going to say Ursula for now. Until I know how to pronounce it. Good thing Ursula is a decent woman who doesn't pick on us for no reason or abuse her authority. Is she the youngest major ever, according to military commission ranks? She's not a member of the royal court. She won't go far. Lady Teresa and Regent aren't blue blood devils either. Screw the royal court. Castor wasn't won by those old fossils huddling around in a circle. But they're the strongest. That's because it's almost time. Go to the machine and prepare to load. Did you hear the name they said? Ursula. Could it be... It's not necessarily the one we're thinking of. Sarkaz names are often code names or taken from legends. Ursula the Time Stealer. Ooh. Of the Lock and Key. It's a Sarkaz legend about the Farron Moot. Anyone could have drawn from it. Ah, so I guess we have the Farron Moot along with the Sarkaz. Wouldn't be the first time, because the Farron Moot are pretty much everywhere. I guess there would be one towards Sarkaz as well. Wait. Ursula the Time Stealer? What's the origin of your name, Hodera? Don't have one. Bells. Wait, over there. What's that? Oh? What was that? The hills are trembling. No. Space itself is trembling. Oh! Oh, it's actually a cutscene. Huh. Eldritch horrors beyond my comprehension. For an instant, I see visions beyond reckoning. That's basically what I said. Bloated emperors crumbling in holes of gold, ancient bloodborne cutting open their wrists to feed the newborn. Diabolic flames burning amber. Demons with deer horns prowl beneath great bronze walls, offering battered willow wood. The one knot falls from nothingness, splitting into countless threads. A red-skinned monster cuts off its own horn, impaling its own chest with it. It kind of reminds me of the Void Whales as well from D&D. Just, you know, a little bit more bony. Broken shards become whole again. I see a faraway city. Calm, peaceful, not yet wheeled, not yet drowned in hatred. Its beauty is absurd and out of place even in a dream. For no reason at all, I am convinced that it was Casdell, a home that has long ceased to exist, from somewhere in history. I want to go there, go into there. I want to see what kind of life we once had. Okay, I can sort of wrap my head around how we're going to destroy the Sarkaz airship. because at least it's still made of a physical thing. How are we going to stop eldritch, interdimensional, traveling skeleton whales that can just take things and go into another plane of existence? How are we supposed to stop that from working with the sarcas? I lift my foot, but put it down in the same place again. I watch it quietly. Until all is silent. Until... a pathetic creature that is naught but bleached bones moves slowly. That's a change in tone. Also, I just want to say that the shimmer sort of effect that's coming from the top of the skeleton whale thing looks an awful lot like the shimmer you see in that one Enfield trailer. You know, that wall of sort of oil slick looking colour. Probably no relation, I just thought it was funny that it had a similar look. Nerve strands reach out and grab the massive containers. It still roams this place. It is not dead yet. This is the cargo ship. So big. How did Teresis... It will. It's really... Ursula the Time Stealer. Oh. What a coincidence, right? The legend of Ursula tells of Kasdel being attacked by a Farron Moot that could slow the time of all things and peer into the past through the fog. Through so many pasts, the hero Ursula journeyed, rescuing their kin lost in the mirage of time. Who knew that I, who took the name by happenstance, would one day witness the legend with my own eyes? Ah. So it's both. Both a code name and actually the thing. Also, hello, you look awesome. When are you playable? You've really ground those horns into shape, Inez. You could almost pass for a true blue sarcas. Ursula, are you really going to betray General Manfred Hodera? I knew you wouldn't kill Inez when I first heard the rumours, but the confidential nature of my work precluded a personal visit to Londinium to see you. Aren't you supposed to be the handy... I was about to say handicapped, that's not handicapped. Just Inez just goes like, hey you're handicapped, I don't know what. Aren't you supposed to be the hand-picked successor to the Scar Market? Sounds like you're already the bone driver here. Is playing a hero of legend worth such loyalty and commitment? Ancient things are not so appealing anymore. Yeah, bone driver was quite literal in that case. Only one stuck in the past would continue to use the name. You could give yourself a new name. How would old friends who came a long way to visit be able to find me then? Care for a drink? You didn't used to be a drinker. Used to, huh? You didn't used to swing your sword at me either, Inez. Bear in mind, this is a tutorial stage. This is a lot of drama for a tutorial. Gross. Oh, those things. Those are the things that need to not break, right? Ah. Yeah, those vamp-altered things came back to life. Right, so you kill them, but they don't die, and you either have to break the things or, I guess, stop the altar in order to stop them from just respawning, I'm guessing. It's the Blood Calling's altar doing. The tactical witchcraft platform periodically recycles blood amber from dead vampire spawn to produce bloodborne spawn. We have to use W's anti-witchcraft repositionable bomb. Okay, of course it was W that made that. To destroy the blood calling altar, so we can vanquish the enemy for good. We can only maintain our lines for now. Arb. Orb. I love how jittery she is. So what if I just do this? Oh, hello. Bombs in position. We still need some manpower to fire up the bomb transport to get it to automatically move towards the target. We can speed up by attacking the transport, but enemies can slow the transport's movement speed with their attacks too. It really is basically just the moving that vehicle in Overwatch. Or like the robot that they added in Overwatch 2, because that one will move to the opposite side when they get attacked. The bomb will explode once it reaches the altar, destroying it. Once it's gone, the blood amber will vanish on its own. Try and see for yourself. Oh, I see.
I'll be waiting here. Give me the orb. This arrow will find your throat.
Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, and they're just dying because there's nothing to keep them alive. Okay. Damn, Hojira's ability lasts a long time. Okay, that's not too bad, but I can see how that can start becoming annoying when the lanes are really awkward. Also, I've got to love how this is peak Arknights. That took nearly 40 minutes in order to do a tutorial. Okay, the next stage, aptly called the Blood Calling Altar. Follow Illusion's remnants and chase after their source. The Blood Calling Altar and Bomb Loading Point. Okay, so that one still isn't too bad. Probably have someone there to, like, you know, kill the thing quickly so that it can continue onwards. However, I will bring in a quick deploy person. I'm trying to think of who I can get rid of. I'll get rid of Blue Poison. Put in a fast redeploy. Project Red. Do that one.
Infiltration successful.
Yeah. This should work. I've got enough lane holders, I've got enough range. Oh, okay.
The hunt begins.
Oh, that was not where I was hoping to put people. Oh, and you've got range, haven't you? That's ranged stuff. Oh, I wasn't expecting you to go that way. I need to get, yeah. That's a thing.
Good scenery here, Doctor.
Oh, okay. Ow. Oh, there's only one. Why did I think there was a blue point somewhere around here? That is unfortunate, though. I should have.
So this is a battle.
In hindsight, I should have done something there.
Hurry up.
Please save your strength.
I'm sorry.
We'll get you out.
That's going to do quite a bit of damage to you. Yeah.
Serious now.
Okay, so I can do that at least, and then use that one. Unfortunately, that bomb's going to probably die before that happens. What else can I... Oh, they might be going now, though.
Solid positioning.
I messed this up a little bit.
We're counting on you again today, little apple. Stay back!
Hey! I didn't deserve that.
Doctor, leave this big guy face me!
Show me what you got there.
Oh, I still have you.
Oh, it's finally my turn.
Aha, you can't reach.
Doctor, hey, heck, relying on your armor will only leave you vulnerable.
Nice.
Flawless victory! I was pretty good, wasn't I, Doctor?
I mean, I guess it was... technically it was flawless, the execution wasn't. I got so held up because for some reason I thought that there was a blue point somewhere else. I don't even remember where I thought it was now. And so I was constantly looking at this side here to make sure that nothing goes down this way. I'm like, where would they have gone that way? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's an interesting thing. That's gonna constantly spawn ranged enemies, isn't it? I mean, that's still fine, though. I'm gonna stick with this for now. Oh, okay, another one without cutscene. Maybe this one will have an ending cutscene.
行くよ。嵐のように蹂躙してやる。The scent, it's thick.
The way she said that with 3 C's.
Whew. We're counting on you again today, little apple.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
What are you? I should have had you pointing upwards.
I have to get serious now.
Come on, Sherry, quasi
Nope.
tesoro.
ちょっとからかってあげようっと。
Oh god. Oh, it's one of those.
I won't be afraid.
Speed. No way out for you.
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
I'll charge the weak spot. Ha! Kick ass!
Get behind me.
Now's the time to help everyone out.
Oh, I like that because it's going that way. Those ones aren't actually respawning. Oh, damn, there's nothing there to... goodbye. Hello.
Distract them.
Okay, and then from now on you should be dealt with by...
The distance. There!
Simple and clear.
Oh.
Big Daddy, bring it on!
Come on, Sherry, quasi tesoro.
That's really close to being bad. Okay, that's fine, actually.
I'll charge the weak spot. Who's next?
Apple pie!
Ethan kind of makes sense as being good cart pusher, I can see that.
I'm sorry. Stay back!
I'm gonna have to see why one of those enemies turned into a weird thing that respawned. But so far they haven't done that since. I'll have to see why that happened. Or were they doing it all the time and they stopped after the thing? Maybe they stopped after the thing and I just didn't notice. Alright, there we go. Oh, okay, there's a cutscene this time. Oh, just on the phone. FaceTime. Bumping into an old friend isn't necessarily a good thing for a Sarkaz. I may not be a Sarkaz, but I know how to... But I know to come prepared. There we go. I don't know where I got the howl from. When you're a kid, you're naive and stupid. A little camaraderie... I hate that word. Whatever. Is enough to get you handing over your heartfelt trust. Even if the place where you built that thingy stinks as bad as Kazdel. I struggle so much with that word for some reason. It's weird because I'm fine saying it normally, just as in like in any other conversation. The moment I have to try and say, or the moment I have to try and read it, is the point at which I suddenly forget how it's pronounced. Eventually, at some point, you grow up. Maybe it's the first time you kill someone. Maybe it's the first time you almost bleed out. Or maybe it's the first time you crawled out from under a pile of corpses. I feel like most people who grow up don't experience this. Even in Terra. You start learning how to live in the grown-up world. You can be ruthless. You can use any means necessary. You can even throw your hands under the bus. Friends, rather. Where did I get hands? You can even throw your friends under the bus just to live on, and nobody will hold it against you. And then, the contrived plot comes around, and you bump into an old friend. Honestly, after all these years apart, even if you're old friends, do you really have that much to talk about? It's just... when you were young and stupid, you handed over that trust, you built a friendship. But when you're at that age, you have the unique opportunity to talk about friendship in Kazdel without being laughed at. Ursula, we've done unloading. They're counting everything in at the warehouse. There we go. Same as before. Steel, pure gold, originium, stuff like that. There hasn't been a personnel transport in weeks. Sounds like most of the forces from the Royal Court in Kazdel are already here. That makes things easier on us. Back when the Royal Court guys were floating around, they'd come down here and complain to us. Made all sorts of trouble. Stop. That's enough for now. Oh, sorry. Hey, Commander. I've been posted to the way station for 6 months now. According to the rotation schedule, it's about time for me to... I haven't received any new orders for you. But your performance speaks for itself. I could approve 3 days of leave for you. Enough to get any worker thing in, not gonna lie. But don't let it go to your head. Make sure to stay grounded. Operator Wen. All your life in Kazdel, you were a cobbler. Your greatest accomplishment is nailing souls together. What are you in the running for? Unless you're prepared to blow yourself up. It's like, you're no fun. Get out of here, kid. You know what, I don't know how good or evil this character is, but I'm liking her. I watch Ursula's profile, the corners of her mouth curling up. Thinking back to then. So I wonder if they fought alongside her when everyone was fighting against Teresis. Or if she was always on Teresis' side. I know they spoke about the market, but I know pretty much anyone was there. Like, if I remember correctly, everyone from the other side was in the market as well. Like, it didn't matter. Thinking back to then, she carries herself the same way, at least. The young Sarkaz cobbler approaches Hodora and slyly hands him a flask. Hey, brother, hold on to this for me. Ursula can't go a day without the stuff. Oh. And like a slyly smiling Sarkaz worker. Where do you see the smiling? Even in the actual cutscene, they still had the completely non-transparent face mask. I'm going to assume it's like one of those one-way things, like the Power Ranger helmets, which are black, but you can see through it on the other side. Although apparently the actors weren't able to see on the other side, see through the other side. It was only later on that they could. That's random bit of lore and has absolutely nothing to do with this. Anyway, you're really something, man. Walking around with this piece at your side. Oh, so probably talking about a sword, I'm guessing. Watch your mouth, cobbler. What's sweeter than honey? What's toxic as nightshade? Looks like he hasn't even had his coming of age yet. Those years with Her Highness Teresa did a lot to see these kids grow up nice and sheltered. And now he's in a war out here by Londinium. Brother and sister joined hands to create the worst joke in history. If only it wasn't a joke. You know what? She's completely valid for saying this. If you open that notebook, I'm setting it on fire. I like to think that he hadn't even taken the notebook out fully yet, like his hand was still partly in the pocket or wherever it's kept. It's like partly revealed, then just put back in. Hodora quietly tucks away his notebook. Oh god. This person needs to be playable. You haven't changed. That's nice. It's been years since that operation. Me, Hodora, and W, the old W, got ourselves into trouble. Oh, you mean the person who died? Killed some people we shouldn't have killed. It's not just a scar market. Showing your faces in Kasdel would be trouble for you. I see your name's there a lot, on the bounty lists. You're famous. I've never been a cheap date. Sure enough, Inez's investment paid off well. We were all so young. Getting old now? I'm a Sarkaz. You're a sheep. Sorry, that shouldn't have made me laugh more than it did. But something about that was so funny. In theory, I'm going to live longer than you, Inez. In theory. Oh, maybe never mind. We're all infected, so this isn't about racial lifespans. Good point. I'll drink to you and wish myself good health. I remember you used to say that if a Sarkaz wants to live long, she needs to keep a clear head before somebody else trades it for coin. Whoever wants it can take it. Victorian, Sarkaz, doesn't matter to me. Ah, we're at the level of self-depreciation that Russian soldiers have. She leans in close, sizing me up, then glances at Hodora. It's a bit awkward that it changes who the first person perspective is without giving an indicator. Because I feel like there was a point in which... Oh, okay, maybe I was just confusing the notes that Inez was taking for actually being Hodora, because I thought when Inez then suddenly said, put your notebook back, I thought those initial thoughts beforehand was Hodora thinking and then deciding to take the notebook out, but no, it was still her. That's probably why. You've got wrinkles, Inez. I died 3 times and only got a few wrinkles to show for it. I should thank the myriad souls. This is definitely like one of those toxic school reunion things. Like, you know, you go there and it's all like, oh wow, you've put on some weight. Like, huh? That's not the compliment that you're making it sound to be. You don't thank them, you're a sheep. As for Hodora, you're missing an eye. Want to see the socket? It's all thanks to the fine Caprine woman right here. Lose an eye or lose your head. You had a choice. I guess Inez broke her heart when she made the move. Drop it. We're old friends getting together again. Can't we get back to a nice atmosphere of sentimental nostalgia? Talk about days gone by, muse on passage of time. We could talk about how you became the youngest major in the military commission, the driver of this skeletal Faramut, Commander Ursula. Yes, we should talk about that. Otherwise, we being who we are, rather, we shouldn't be so warm and friendly. And we could also talk about you, these 2 Sarkaz. One Sarkaz traitor, and one sheep. Why are you popping up at a secret military commission site? For a moment I thought she was going cross-eyed there. I know you were detained by General Manfred, Hodora. I still find it funny that the leader of the Sarkaz army is called Manfred. It's almost as funny as one of the big bads in Honkai being called Kevin. And you and Inez, who disrupted our operations, together with an obnoxious little girl planting bombs all around, and stole into my territory in broad daylight. No, I'm not going crazy. She is going cross-eyed, right? Or is it really just... Maybe it's just the positioning of, like, the drawing. As an officer of the military commission, I can't very well let that go. It's 2 against 1 here, Ursula. Is it? Remind me, where are we again? The secret facility of the military commission. Huh? Since when? The girl wasn't like this before. You're welcome to try, Inez. She's wearing a smile, but she's dead serious. The most important thing I've learned over the years is to be true to my decisions. And Tress, this is your decision? No, the military commission is. Okay, counteroffer. You betray Teresis and take over the military commission. Just floating that out there? And then you should, like, totally join Rhode Island afterwards. Anyway, you decided to go with Babel, or what is it called now? Rhode Island? And I decided to stand with the commission. We decided our paths a long time ago. Ursula, we can still... No. I know what you want, Hodora. You haven't changed a bit. But we're not those kids who strutted around cheery for a whole day in the back of a single bounty anymore. We don't get to relax after our missions these days. No idle afternoons on the streets of Kazdil. We're Sarkaz, or at least we're citizens of Kazdil. It's our responsibility to make those streets and alleys a better place. Kazdil is the main issue here, Ursula. Then you've got to admit, the military commission is the best choice we've got. Even Her Highness Dresser wouldn't disagree rather. Yeah. Well, she didn't agree technically. I don't know what this one is. It was the two royals who made Casdell into a nomadic city. The both of them who made it possible for us to even talk about the future of Sarkaz here. It was the same two royals who promoted me, giving a poor girl from the slums a chance to stand in on the site of a royal court, among those pure and ancient bloodlines. Once trapped by naivety and compromise, the Sarkaz lose our chance at true homeland. There's no room for me to hesitate here. The military commission, it's the foundation for Casdell to become a nation. Will there even be a Casdell once this war is over? All I know is I'm no traitor. Sure, we were prepared to bump into this old friend from the beginning. Hodra tactically crosses from my side to confront this stupid girl, the major of the military commission. 10 minutes, that's my limit. Get as much intel on that thing as you can. I bypass several Sarkaz blocking my way, shadows entwining their ankles. I leap up, climbing the nerve clusters of this terrifying creature. The slippery feeling made me slightly sick. Is this a Faranmut? I've never seen one before. Show me the secrets hiding in your mind. This isn't a good section to walk on. My luck has been pretty bad lately. Always ended up in the body of some kind of monster. Last time it was a revenant, and this time it's whatever this is. Oh, I hope I don't have to jump off it this time. These nails piercing its spine must be some kind of witchcraft device. Oh, they're kind of controlling it a little bit like Dvalin. Are those nerve clusters trembling? Does this thing still have a will of its own? Most likely not. And here. So, how about you do as much damage as possible to these witchcraft things, and maybe... Ugh, how are they so quick? They climb up the skeleton in hot pursuit. Wind glider ready? The sinews between the bones become something like a ladder for them, with the splinters of fallen bone serving as their weapons. They know war. Ursula's trained a real elite unit. But it could stand to work in some variety. Not so much for the trained unit. All they've got on me is numbers. A foreboding instinct pops into my head as I instinctively dodge to the side. A huge cluster of nerves comes crashing down, and the bone fragments I have been standing on shatter and crumble. So hard on itself. Looks like every bone fragment, every bundle of sinew here could be a deadly weapon. That's a pain. The nerve cluster wraps around again. I sink my dagger into it so hard that it recoils violently, carrying me high into the air. Alright, so it has the most basic of reflexes. Good enough. There's a cabin up ahead. Right there. With all my might, I grab the dangling bundle of nerves, and leap away. Eldritch horrors beyond my comprehension. Actually, now this is kind of looking a little bit like something from Baldur's Gate, I think. You know, the living ships. Also, it's kind of, you've got to admit, it's kind of rad. You've got this big, giant bone whale, and in its rib cage is what looks like a number of structures, like almost like not a town or city or anything like that. It's not that big, but like, you know, a facility, a base within its own ribcage. Like, that's kind of cool. Dust everywhere from wind-weathered bone. This should be the center. No clear interface. Is it driven purely by witchcraft? A willing slave? Or a marionette controlled by strings? Oh, you're here. You dodged my arts, Inez, and that should have gone right through your heart. You still haven't fixed that old habit of yours. Your casting always deviates a little to the left. You never corrected your sight picture. You never zeroed in. Lucky I've been on the bad end of that enough times. Oh my god, she does the pout as well. Okay, yeah, she needs to be an operator. You in a hurry? Did Hodora make a fool out of you? Ooh. It's fragile, isn't it? Not as honest as it seems. You're welcome to guess. If we get the chance, I'd really like to hear about these 3 deaths you mentioned. Must be a thrilling story. You want to try once? No, I'd rather us live. Us? If you can make it through the chaos and live on, that is. I gotta admit, these fights are always really weird to me, like in any story where it's like a fight to the death, yet the big bad guy that's fighting you to the death doesn't actually want you to die or would prefer that you live. And it's like, well, is this a fight to the death? Are you going to give it your all, or is this just empty words? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? The tremendous force flips me over. The nerve bundle sweeps away, trying to tug me with it. The Farenmut is gradually swinging its body. They've built a lot of cabins here. And that was the word I was looking for. And the thing tends to drift in the space. What if the Farenmut wanders when I'm not in one of the cabins, rather? I don't really want to find out. I'm not Hodora. I'm not into becoming history. See, now, time like this, we probably should have had W here. And just bombed it from the inside, like in Halo Reach. Shadows, like blades, sweep through the hall of bone. Save what's left of your dignity, Inez. There's no point. Your shadows can't protect you from the might of a Farenmut. Weathered bone dust takes flight again, filling my vision. Pocket bones! Thanks for the reminder. Hodora! Hodora, smash! Oh, wow, okay, yeah. Did he just burst through a wall? Oh, yes, of course it's going to be this music. Oftentimes, even I have to admit that Hodora makes a pretty good partner. Oh, whoa, sorry. I'm actually glad we didn't betray each other. It's hard to find a sarcasm like him. The past was tough, and the future's going to be tough too. The dim firelight, that would be a good name for an event, rises in the dust. With the dust. That would also be a good name for an event. Twisting. His figure emerges from the embers. Sparks in the wind singe his cloak and my hair. Oh, there's bound to be something like that on, oh, what's that fan fiction website called? I've forgotten what it's called now. And sometimes, only sometimes, I'm willing to tolerate his obnoxious arts. We're well past the age when we can talk about friendship. But I'd rather live in a future Casdale that keeps the silly naivety we always laughed at. The turbulence is intensifying. I grab his hand. Oh. Sigh. I forgot to tell you, Hodra, General Manfred gave me your book. It's pretty good, I have to admit. You gathered up the bits and pieces, arranging them in chronological order, thinking you found the thread. But you've been running all this time. Do you plan to do this forever? Drop it, Ursula. Time to say goodbye. Hodra, you're jumping with me this time. Don't get swept away by the turbulence of history. Never forget the present, the life that you're living. You're the boss. I'm going to assume that, like, there is the core, and you have to break that thing in the middle. Boiling shadows point the way for us. Scorched dust carrying us along. Now that line goes hard, not gonna lie. The illusions shift before our eyes. When I'm falling fast enough, I suddenly realise that history really does look pretty fragile and hypocritical. I see a vast and familiar battlefield, one of the war zones from Kazdel, where the flames are still burning. I recall the past. Hodra always wanted to steer clear from the war that tore apart his people. I forced myself to turn my head, while his single-mindedly focused on finding a suitable landing zone. Run away from the war? Heh. We weren't at Babel when Her Highness came under attack. We could have left Kazdel straight away. Why did we go back for W? Why join Reunion? Why lay low in Londinium all this time? What is Hodra fighting for anyway? What am I fighting for? We break through the earth, the illusions vanish, and we see what was always there. The skeleton's gone. There was a skeleton there before. I was going to say something was missing. I was trying to see if it had crashed or something, but no, it's just gone completely. He grabs my arm, telling me to be ready. Arcs envelop us and my vision clears. Shadows rise from the ground. Maybe we stopped running a long time ago. Damn. Okay, that scene went hard. Oh damn, straight into a cutscene as well. So we had a cutscene during the tutorial. No cutscene at all here. Cutscene at the end of it, and now we're not getting a stage. I have never heard of this word before. Those espying the crown? It's no use fleeing. The bloodline's predestiny will always catch up in the end. That's weird. I've heard the word predestined before, but I've never actually seen it written before as predestiny. I thought that said. Fuck's sake. I thought that said something completely different. I had to double take like that guy from the meme. Okay, now I need to make sure that I don't say it the way that I thought it said. The myriad souls lied prostrate. Howling knocks on the door from beneath. Tangible usurps the intangible. I was just reading that, I was like, they lie what? Does that have word have another meaning that I don't know of? For a moment I thought it was like I got so confused there. I thought, oh, is this like a moment like when you read the word erect, but like in the terms of like a statue, and then you realise that it has another meaning? No, it's just a different word. Oh. Oh, what the fuck is that word? Why? Who? And here I thought Quitapalat, or whatever his name is, was difficult to say. I'm going to assume that's at least somewhat related to the Wendigo, because he had a difficult name to say as well. Like, people see beast but read breast. Yes, yeah, literally. Thingy-majig, bear witness. The Black Crown imprisoned, the offender perpetually innocent. Talking about Amia? Because kings are born before immortality. Tent. Yes. Ah, there you are. Is W back yet? No. The time she spent on this mission has already exceeded our worst-case calculations. Girl, you got sliced across your chest. Let's not bother with calculations at the moment. Oh, that's why there's no stage callus here, yeah. Yeah, we're in for a long one, guys. How's Nightingale doing? Uh-oh. Shining looks past the window and at Nightingale, sleeping soundly under the trees outside. Not great. Liz has never been more stable than she is right now, but the amount of originium in her body is rising, and it's highly likely her nociceptors, I'm not sure what that is, will be affected. I don't know if that's a real thing or if that's like something in this. This can't be an ordinary infection symptom. Perhaps it's due to the Sarkaz witchcraft devices on the battlefield. Or maybe the whispering of the Revenant. I don't know. There's no way I can tell Liz that I feel her pain, for I have no idea what's going on. But yesterday, she was happily telling me how she hasn't been feeling any pain in her dreams for a long time now. You're hesitating. You've been like this ever since you returned from the Confessarius place alone. Do you remember what you told me when you applied to come with me to Londinium? To heal Liz, Dr. Calcit. This goal I've never wavered on, ever. We may not know the exact status of her illness, but we all know what it means to heal her. The things we need to do will not change. On this, I'm clear. I have faith in you both. The way you look at Nightingale isn't just with compassion. You're not just her doctor, she's healing your fears too. Her body has its issues, but she's a member of the Followers, as well as your companion, and not a delicate flower that needs your protection. Sense 3 for damage or harm in... Okay. The Confessari secret is truly a sickening affair, but we might only be able to uncover the truth by facing the abomination lurking in the utmost depths head-on. I know you may be somewhat worried, but as I said when we first agreed to work together, Rhode Island will help you if you ever need a hand. Thank you, Dr. Calcit. A blue foul beast chirps as it lands on Shining's shoulder. She is now Bastion. This is Liz's usual way of greeting her. Liz is awake. I'll go fetch her. I'm fine, Shining. You don't have to look after me so meticulously. Liz, we were just discussing your condition, and there are some signs that aren't too great. The vicinity of Londinium has turned into a war zone, and there are some things that are affecting your health. Dr. Calcit and I are currently discussing our next course of action. This place is also just a temporary foothold. Shining, come here, closer. Alright. Look at you. Why wear that face when you've already made up your mind? We can't run forever. The way things are now, we might as well confront them with our dignity intact, right? I know you'll stay with me, so I'd rather stay here and be a little more proactive. Liz, be strong, Shining. Your brows have been knitted ever since you met with them. Are you nervous? Oh right, while I was napping under the tree earlier, I had a dream. I think we were children, walking in a stream. The water didn't even reach our calves. It was so cold, but very pleasant. We didn't speak, only walking along quietly. And then I woke up. I saw a strange foul beast pecking at its own plumage. Plumage? It seemed to be pecking at its bruise-covered body until it was entirely covered in blood. It gazed at me with a pleading look in its eyes, crying as it huddled in its own nest. But it was not liquid pouring down its face. It was white wax. Even its mess of feathers were all frozen, and it was still chirping before it died. Bing bears witness. It was a strange melody that sounded like... Sorry. Thingamajig bears witness. Language. Liz? Shining spots of black foul beast resting on the tree, weakly nesting on a crown made of dead branches. It looks back at Shining, and a trembling cry resounds from its syrinx, a rhythm permeating. Huh. The bird speaks ancient sarcasm. A black feather floats from the crown of dead branches. It'd be funny if it basically just said the sarcasm equivalent of, nevermore. It covers everyone's vision despite its tiny size. You led me here, and so I've come to take you home, Liz. Monster! Oh, this is actually a thing happening, okay. Return from whence you came. Okay. So, monster just got spawn camped. Anyone else got any ideas? The structure is so fragile. It seems Teresa's blade is sharper than I imagined. Ah, yes. Lucius Malfoy. Malfoy, not Mouthboy. Watch out, Shining. It's fine, Liz. He can't harm me. You've regressed. It will be a challenge to return your body to its peak condition. That will eat into my experimentation time. Also Apocalypse. I know I've said this before, but yeah, definitely a mix of Malfoy and Apocalypse. To think you'd willingly leave that sordid lair of yours. The black foul beast rests on the dead branches in the Confessarius' hand. Its robust body is covered by an abundance of feathers, shining with luster. It was reborn so easily and instantly from corruption. It seems like you're anxious about something as well. We have already arrived at the gate. We've made great strides in our experiments, even just knocking softly on the door. You must attend the final ritual. Monster, meltdown. Oh, he didn't get spawn camped, okay. 5 minutes will be enough, Salus. Stop her with your life. Don't let them hinder me. Of course. Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about Salus for a moment. So I thought he was calling his own version of monster and I was about to freak out. A black curtain of satin drapes down. It blinds the howling monster in multiple layers, giving it less and less space to struggle. Her arts are black? Is that Amia's? What have you done to her? No. They didn't defeat her. I should have been able to present the King of Sarkaz to the leader unharmed. It's a pity. But no matter. Even just getting a glimpse can let the fake take another step forward. So, little creature, don't disturb our leader at work. Follow me elsewhere to wait till he is done. Monster! Dr. Calcit, you're in no shape to exert yourself. I said last time that our next meeting would be on the battlefield. Oh? Then why are you concealing your sword even now? You swore to sever your ties with our lineage when you left home, and this whole time I've been looking forward to your return and fulfill your promise. I gave you time, but you disappoint me again and again. We were supposed to produce the next me. We would have created the most intangible bloodline in the last 100 years. Ugh. Sharp, but so impure. What's happened to your soul? Did you think you still had hope to cling on to after leaving us? It definitely sounds like an abusive father in that way. Oh, I don't think they're father and they like brother and sister or something. But it's like, you know, abusive family, that sort of thing of like, you're nothing without this family, that sort of thing. Liz, come back. I won't let you manipulate me. Oh? You're a creation that has surpassed my expectations. You're supposed to be just a shell, and yet you can touch me. Oh well. Now, Shining. I can't hold on much longer. A strange feeling surges from within Shining. Nightingale. Yeah, why did I miss out that? Is resisting the Confessarius, and even suppressing him. The ancient devil soul has never manifested in such a vulnerable state before. Bloodline. The word itself sounds unreal, but at this moment, there only seems to be an extensive crack of blood right in front of her eyes. But Shining hesitates. Why is it so simple? How could it be this simple? Nightingale, stop! It's a trap! He's waiting for your arts to resonate. Time slows down. Monster fights with Salus as Calcit yells out. Everything flows past like streams of light. Both you and I know where fate will lead us, but those without self-awareness will only trap themselves in their own pitiful cage. It's futile to despise your bloodline and resist your fate. No one can deny the natural gifts bestowed by your bloodline. I will do for you what you're hesitating to do. To crack open in the cage, enter it with me, and I'll bring you back onto the right track. Think it through before you make your choice. A white sword pierces through a heart atop a stone platform covered with dead branches. Shining remembers the first time she cried. She remembers just how amazing it was, the birth of an unexpected emotion. A brand new soul is carved anew under the blade. I've seen pain, your tears. Accidents are bound to bring surprises. You could have stopped your explorations here and now, but you just can't bear to destroy the ignorant consciousness in that hollow shell. And so you sow memories into the empty husk instead. She's Liz. She shouldn't... You did this of your own free will, filled up this consciousness with a name, with Liz. Liz is afraid of the completely silent person sitting across from her at the table. They agreed to sit here every night at the same hour for dinner together. But the white-horned Sarkaz opposite her with a sword in her hands no longer speaks or moves outside of recording her every action she can remember today. Liz always asks herself, have I done something to upset her? Liz misses the beautiful memories of how their lives were before. I keep having the same dream every day. I dream of us as children, walking in a stream hand in hand. Then I flew upwards and kept going higher and higher. You couldn't hold me back, and I saw you crying from the clouds. Every time when I wish to return to your side, I always wake up in pain. I ache from your suffering, and I want to bear it for you. I just need you to tell me why you feel like this. Yeah. This name means inseparable hope, our destiny. Poor Liz. She thinks it's all her fault, because of the momentary kindness you showed her. I've already abandoned that sinful name. I'm called Shining now, and will always be. Is that so? Are you sure you can resist your family's destiny that has carried on for a millennium? I'm looking forward to it. Liz holds the blue foul beast rescued from the river in her hands. The indigo feathers are trembling, and the cold river water makes her shiver. She thought, Shining would get angry at her, but the sorrowful Sarkaz merely weaves a brand new birdcage for Liz. Put it inside, and it will stay safe for always. I'm sorry, Shining. I didn't mean to endanger myself by going into the river to save it. But I just couldn't watch it die. I became fond of it the moment your family gifted it to me. It likes to fly freely. It's a free bird. But once it gets too far away from me, it seems to lose its life and falls into the river. You say I did something similar yesterday, but I have no recollection of all of that. Of that at all, rather. But I'll listen to you, and put it inside the cage. I'll keep it safe. Please don't get angry. I promise you something so foolish as this won't ever happen again. The cage has finally accepted their own duty, and you have also realised your own destiny. I feel like the bird itself is the trap. The more fragments and lies you fill her up with, the more confusion and suffering she goes through. I've lifted those dusty fragments for her. There's no undoing her awakening, and eventually she will suffer as her rootless consciousness crumbles. I won't let that happen, Father. Oh, it was Father, okay. I'll end our sins with my own hands, and Liz will be cured. And what next? Isn't her regaining the truth the very thing you fear, my dear Never mind. This is why I was confused last time. This is the source of your woeful hesitation. I immediately remember why I got so confused last time they spoke. Her father is inside her brother, maybe? Possibly. Seeing as they're talking about, you know, moving from body to body, maybe it's kind of similar to the Black Snake. Or maybe it's more of a father becomes the title for the head of the family. But I feel like that's kind of dumb because it sort of makes a almost Sweet Home Casdell vibe. I mean, it kind of makes a Sweet Home Casdell vibe when it's father inside the brother as well, so I tolerate you wandering around with this receptacle, continuously strengthening this fragile cage, because I trust you to cherish it with your all, and you never disappoint me. Eventually, you'll come back to my side with the cage in tow. That's what you've done. Look, she even tried to cage me to create an opportunity for you to defeat me. Your rebellious love for her, and her fate-resisting conscience, have sadly only become another catalyst together. You even want to use the hope she found herself? Shining, are you here? I can sense your breathing, but I can't see you. I'm here, Liz. She can't hear your voice. We're talking within her tattered consciousness, inside the cage. Shining sees the blue foul beast, huge enough to fill her vision. Giant grey eyes look down on her. She is unable to see herself reflected in those eyes. The foul beast's sharp beak opens and closes, a mellow voice trails in from nowhere. Shining, there's a vague question echoing in my head, together with a name that stings me, but I can't recall it at all. I might be able to remember it after we leave this place. I found I can share the pains of others and slow down their lives withering away. You said we'd go to faraway places to find a way to cure me, and maybe I can cure others in pain along the way too. She's submerged in those disorderly and fragmented memories, and will eventually lose herself in them. Or perhaps she'll go mad, or maybe she'll end her own life before that happens. But you know how to solve this, Shining. I've taught you. Draw your sword, and cut down your blood relatives here and now. Our souls will reconnect with your sword as a bridge, and you will give birth. Gross. To ancient power. Yeah, why did you have to stop it before? This is your inescapable destiny. Become one with me, and use the remains of your bloodkin to nourish her consciousness that will stay shattered otherwise. Forgive me, Liz. Shining clutches the sword in her arms, and the Confisaris' hand is already pressed on the scabbard. At last, Shining. Day and night are about to pour out from the sheath, but a single hand holds onto Shining's sleeve. Oh? That's an amazing art piece. Shining, I like your new name much better. It just sidesteps Lucius Malfoy and just says, my time to speak. My time to enable the power of friendship. Liz, I feel like I've slept for a long time, lost myself within an infinity of fragments. But I heard your voice, and you guided me to a place buried underneath the countless fragments. I dug up some of my splintered memories there, and I still haven't remembered them all. But I've recalled the question that I should have given you my answer to long ago. I forgave you long ago. Even before you resolved to seal all the memories of that laboratory away. I'm so angry with you for deciding to act on your own without asking me. Liz, I've always loved the name you chose for me. Don't run away and bear everything by yourself. Didn't we promise to face it all together? Shining sees Nightingale's eyes and her smile. Shining sees night. Wow, I hate it when they do that now. They've started doing it. I can't remember when they started doing it, but it gets annoying because sometimes I still expect the whole thing to change like it used to. When she comes back to her senses, the hand has already quietly slipped away from her sleeve. A tragedy we have here, but the ending has already been determined. You killing me will turn you into the breeding ground for the next in our bloodline, or you can look on helplessly as you watch me take her away and drown in your regrets after. It's all the same, sister. Sir, we need to retreat. How many bloodlines have you yet to touch, Chimera? Show me. How many times have you put blood back into your body and tell yourself your own fate? Even Monster is like, bitch, when did you get here? What, huh? It's the Pokemon movie all over again. I was joking before about there being a second monster. Like, huh? The two monsters are doing the Spider-Man pointing at each other. Your little monster's copy is quite poor. Is this because you're not as strong as you were before your rebirth? Or is Dame Calcit, beloved of all tribes, even more injured than I thought? Ah, I see. Ah! I was wondering if that would happen. When I saw that the other cluster had decided to stay with the military commission, I was wondering if the other split cluster would join our side instead, because it kind of sort of made sense. Okay, maybe they haven't necessarily joined us, but they've joined Shining at least. Shining, the other part has chosen you. So what will you bring him? The name, Shining's old name, Shining's dead name, itself is the answer. Inextinguishable hope. The cage is already awake. If you continue to keep her by your side, she will only, like the dewdrops of early dawn, evaporate and fade away in the light. I feel like that's preferable, though. Even if she only has a short lifespan, that's still preferable to what you are considering. I still can't get over the fact that, for a brief moment, the monster sort of did that, like, the Wojak meme of the guy pointing at something in the background, doing sort of like the PogChamp look. Like, it was like confused, and then saw the monster and got excited. I will take her away, and I will help you maintain her. I will help you make amends. I will forge this cage into a crown. And then, we will be the King of Sarkaz for all eternity. Okay, calm down, Palpatine. Oh, that sounded like vampires. Oh no, maybe that was just him disappearing. Okay. There's no point in chasing after him. Take stock of our losses and prepare to move at once. We still have unstabilized wounded, but our cover here has already been blown. Why did they use the vampire thing for him disappearing? That was weird. Dr. Calcit. Oh, and Mobin Salas. Yeah, that would make sense, I suppose. Operator Nightingale is an employee of Rhode Island Medical Department, and we will not allow anyone to take her away or do harm to her. But we might place her in greater danger if we make any rash moves. After all, we're facing an immortal Lord of Fiends that can be coveting the crown for thousands of years. Shining, the one who knocks on the door, the king of usurping kings. I knew the threat of the Confessari since the days of Babel, even though my numerous countermeasure attempts were all in vain. Tresses concealed them so well that everyone merely thought of them as the Regent's guards. I mean, yeah, we did kind of see them in a mix of Chapter 9 and Arknights, I think it was, and they did basically just look like, you know, King's guards and such. Please be at ease. I know what we have to do now. I thought you'd be less calm than this. What's your plan? Liz, she has made her own choice. A choice even I had never dared to think of. Daring, aggressive, and also the most effective method. It seems like the one afraid of loss and death has always been me. What I need to do is to catch up to her. I believe in you both. How's Amia, Ascalon? She and the doctor were also beset by the Confessari's surprise attack, and are now with Logos. Amia has been affected by some kind of witchcraft. The one who they call Salus tried to seize her King of Sarkaz's power from her directly and failed, but Amia's current condition is very strange. She's in the anime main character coma stage. Exactly. She's fallen into a coma. Amia's connection with the Lords of Fiends is only growing stronger, so we can only place our faith in her. We also discovered several of the vampire's art circles accompanied by some illusions from history. The doctor mentioned that the originium used to build these art circles was very special. Oh, it seems like we've regained some memory there in terms of our study of originium. Considering, you know, like a year or so ago, we started off with pretty much no idea what originium was. Special. Well then, Lord Damasdi, I thank you for your assistance. What do you seek from us? We seek change, to hone ourselves, and meaning. We seek the meaning of having a long and disordered life. You will show it to us, and we will verify it. That's all. Oh yeah, no pressure. We just need you to tell us the meaning of life, the universe, everything. Yeah, she's not amused. Tell Closure and Feist to sweep this place thoroughly. We'll leave in 3 hours. Leave a message for W to head towards Brentwood, as per our original plans. We really have to hurry. Hey, Uncle Noel, the lens in my glasses fell out again. Sigh. I told you so many times, your ears are too soft. Commodore XE is loading. Yeah, I'm... Why is his pocket glowing? Your grip on the frames is so hard. Every time you feel your glasses sliding down lets you break and change their shape. So of course the lens won't stay in place. Let me have a look. It's because you gave me such a heavy pair to wear. But I found a better method. Look. Little Susanna pulls out 2 leaves from behind her and wedges the stems on her ears with tips resting on her nose bridge. Ah, glasses of green fashioned with leaves. What do you think? Can you see with them? He looks so unimpressed. I can, really. Just face the sun, like this. The child goes over to Noel and puts 2 leaves on his eyes. Noel's vision is filled with a verdant green. What's he reminding me of? Is it reminding me of a bit of a mix of Aragorn and... oh god, what's his name? Is it Aizawa in My Hero Academia? There's like something there, something in his little like gruff appearance. Alright kid, you... just look. Leaf veins. The sunlight at noon in the forest is not very strong, but it is enough to shine through the thin leaves and reveal their interlaced veins, clear for all to see. How's it? You can see, right? You won't see anything interesting with that frown always on your face, Uncle Noel. Also, who is this bloke, and can we have him as an operator, if he isn't one already? He stares blankly at the sun, with the leaves covering his eyes. I can't see anything at all. But I know of a story from Yan of the East, a tale of missing the forest for the leaves. Nuh-uh, not listening. You're as boring as ever, Uncle Noel. You will learn in a minute. I swear if it turns out to be like... I was about to say Daphne, it's not, it's Delphine or something. It's going to end up being something like that. This is going to be like a flashback, isn't it? Either that or they both die, in which case I will be really annoyed. The child with the glasses made of leaves comes and goes like a breeze, and disappears into the distant camp in a blink of an eye. Ah. It seems like you don't get along with the children, Mr. Noel. If it isn't to-do-la... To-do-la? If it isn't to-do list... What the fuck did I say? Fuck it, that's her name now. If it isn't to-do list, done with work? I told that story to my son once, however. He didn't like hearing my stories either. Maybe I'm just not suited for it. You have an abundance of experience, even if we only know it from a smattering of phrases. An average downtrodden Victorian optometrist who fled here after his shop was taken away from him amidst the war. He sympathised with the infected who were being discriminated against, and so chose to join their group and help out a little with his duties. You've always displayed a respectable character ever since I got to know you, Mr. Noel. But it's because of that, Please, speak your mind, Tallulah. I'm just curious why a long-lived like you would deign to conceal your identity and do such insignificant things. Oh! So it is not a Victorian. I noticed. Of course, this is still much better than the worst-case scenario I thought of. However, you can deny it, and we'll speak of it no more. I'll tell Nine, though. I won't. Noel smiles, plucks a leaf and fiddles with it. There are actually many Victorians who I'm well acquainted with, that know my identity. I only wish to avoid scaring my travel companions. Why, can't Victorian be long-lived? Longman has a Lifanian long-lived too. Do they? I thought it was just sort of a biological thing, like... Well, I know some species are long-lived. But I know Victorians, or at least like the actual cat, the feline Victorians, they're not long-lived. As far as I'm aware anyway. I think they have a normal human lifespan? I know the rabbits have short lifespans. I know most of the animal people have normal lifespans, and I think some of the other ones, like the snakes or the lizards or whatever. She meant he's like a certain snake. Ugh. Yes, we've been seeing a few of these now that may or may not be spirits inside other people. But I'd like to correct you on one point, Tallulah. I'm not deigning to act like this. My longevity aside, I doubt I'm any more talented than ordinary people. The long-lived gain their longevity through different means, as diverse as the Originium arts they use. But we aren't always influential figures, Tallulah. In fact, I'm much more interested in your story. A descendant of the Red Dragon, founder of Reunion, and the leader of the infected movement that took off in Ursus. To think you'd still act so shrewdly towards so-called long-lived. Have we heard of the Red Dragon bit before? That sounds familiar, but I can't remember. Who exactly are you, Mr. Noel? Just some guy. 150 years ago, I was telling my third son the fables I learned from my travels in Yan, and he left my side from impatience. And as I stood before his granddaughter's granddaughter, I was once again a stranger in a large family, rather. So now I harbour anger and pain inside me, given up entirely on both family and love as I try to locate the villain hiding in Victoria who manipulated my fate. I spent the last century researching the long-liveds, the gods, the masterminds, the immemorials, and myself. I tried to benefit from the system of nobility, to hone my Originium arts, to accumulate wealth and exchange it for secrets. I tried every method you can fathom to get closer to the truth, but I haven't been successful at all. I didn't manage to become nobility or wealthy, I only had a little shop, that's all I really had. Combat-wise, I might not even be able to defeat Mr. Guard. He still looks really cool. My money is on Caster for cult. Tallulah is a direct descendant of the Red Dragon, so she is legit heir to the throne too. Huh! I mean, that would be kind of cool. Actually, that is kind of cool. Like, what? How's that going to? So we've got, assuming it's the same throne we're talking about, we've got Siege, the Aslan line to the throne. What's her face in Dublin, who actually doesn't really have direct descendant to the throne because she's from the group that had left Victoria and created Tara. And while, yes, you could technically say that because Tara is part of Victoria, she does technically have some claim to the throne. No, because her family, her side of the family had exiled themselves, went after they lost, so they have no direct line to Victoria. But she is still technically there, and technically Reed as well, but not until Eblana goes, or abdicates from the claim. And now Tallulah. So we've got Victoria, Dublin, and Reunion. That is kind of we're kind of getting a bit of a party here now. And while I could sort of do a duarchy I think that was the name for it. It's very difficult to do a triarchy. Time has only taught me to recognize the reality that I hold no talents at all. That's the story of an ordinary person, Tallulah. This tale I can freely share with you. Noel drops the leaves that were in his hand, and the breeze blows them far away. He dusts himself off, and picks up his suitcase once more. It's funny that Tallulah can go with both Yan's royalty and Victoria's royalty. I mean... Yeah. Which, to be fair, is technically how most monarchies work. At least in Age of Antiquity. Well, no, even after the Age of Antiquity. During medieval ages as well. It was common for that to happen. I think at one point, there were... I think Queen Mary in England was both Queen of England and Queen of Spain for like a short amount of time before she died, I think. So, like, you know, it happens. So, someone who is technically heir to both Victoria and Yan isn't too surprising, but it is certainly one hell of a story. Does she still hold her Ursine ability? Probably not, because she was adopted. And she also betrayed that, and them in Ursus know that. So she probably has that dropped. Please, rest assured I hold no ill intent towards you all. I only wish to find the hands of fate that cursed me. She hides behind the country, treating her monarch as her glove, and the city-state as her chessboard. Who are we talking about? There is no monarch. She merely looks upon everything labelled Victoria with a cold gaze. If needed, Victoria can even be destroyed and rebuilt, and topped off with a new flag after. Are you talking about Teresa? That's the only one I can think of, unless you surely you don't mean Siege. Maybe you mean Ablana, but... Unless the person you're talking of doesn't even exist anymore. How can I believe she isn't involved in our current turmoil of absurdity? She's definitely hiding within the Dukes, watching the Sarkaz and Victorians engage in mutual slaughter. Okay, no, I am leaning towards Teresa here. That's the only one I can think of, unless there is a she that we just do not know yet. Or someone we have seen and just haven't put the dots together. Or it's Calcit. Or he somehow knows that Calcit... No, because Calcit isn't hiding within the Dukes. Unless he's just assuming. Teresa is no Duke. No, but hiding within the Dukes. Calcit would be wild. It wouldn't surprise me because she is someone that does play with people's lives, intentionally or otherwise. But it doesn't make sense because she's not hiding within the Dukes. It could be Ablana. She has a Duke in her pocket. It could be Castor, like Les mentioned. But that's assuming that hiding within the Dukes means that she herself is a Duke. On the other hand, it could be someone that's hiding within the company of Dukes. So someone who's close to the Dukes. That's why I'm also thinking Ablana. She may not be a Duke herself, but she is intermingled with some of the Dukes, or at least one of them. And yeah, as Merwin said, and as I mentioned before, it could be a hidden she that we haven't seen yet. It would be interesting if it turned out that Castor is actually a long-lived. Castor is related to Siege too, though. True. But she is Reed's sister, so not long-lived enough to have turned him centuries ago. True. Yeah, realistically, it would have to be a long-lived that he's talking about. It is curious, though. I am still... I don't know, it's weird, because... I will definitely say Castor's probably the more likely, at least in terms of if it's someone we already know. The other option would be Calcit. Because I know Calcit does intermingle with the Dukes too, just not now, so it's probably... But again, he might just be assuming. She's definitely hiding within the Dukes, like... If it was Castor, he'd probably know that she's hiding within the Dukes because, you know, it's Duke Castor. So it could be an assumption, in which case it might be Calcit. Calcit isn't hiding within the Dukes, but that's his assumption. I don't know. Who knows? It could also be someone random. I'm taking too much time into that. It's just an interesting thing, because now we're talking about this she. Perhaps you might have been manipulated by a similar pair of hands before. You have royal blood running through your veins, after all. She has no reason to let you nor Alistair's daughter go. Me? I do know another conspirator, but he doesn't deserve to be called a god, nor can he manipulate my faith. But that's exactly how they live on, Tallulah. I want to know how to kill them. Or perhaps how to kill myself. It's getting late. I need to fix little Susanna's glasses. Mr. Knoll, you... Tallulah, the reason why I willingly tell you all of this, and why I joined Reunion, do forgive my selfishness, is... It is due to the intuition I've honed by the extra century I've lived. You too have resisted such predetermined fate. All of you have. All of you here have. He needs to be playable. And if he dies in, like, another side story a bit later on, I don't care, he still needs to be playable. Oh, hey, look, Bone Whale. Anyway, I think I'm actually going to leave it here now. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 stages, 3 cutscenes. So, not too bad. I would play for a little bit longer, but it's nearing 11 PM for me, so I'm going to wait a bit. Dollkeeper or Merchant? I haven't seen anything that would make me suggest Dollkeeper. Merchant kind of makes sense. Assuming he isn't something like a caster. He was holding a staff of some kind. He's an optometrist, so he could technically be a medic, but that would be the weirdest leap in the history of gaming to say, oh yes, this guy's a medic character because he helps your eyes. Doctor, my guts are spilling out. Have you tried this pair of glasses? Oh, I can see the blood clearer. Sorry, I'm just being a bit silly now. Slowly chipping away at the main story. Yep, that's pretty much how it goes, really, for the main story. Even though it is like, what is it, 20-odd? There's at least 21, probably 22 or 23. So, yeah, we're not even halfway yet. And the funny thing is, someone told me before that, oh yeah, no, this chapter is like, there's a lot of stages, but they're all very quick. Like, no, No, they're not. The cutscenes still seem as long as they normally are. Granted, some of the stages don't have cutscenes, but... Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and stream a bit more. I know the Rainbow Six Siege collab is about to start, like, literally tomorrow, so I'll probably be playing it, I don't know, either Monday or Sunday. But I will try to keep playing this as well. I'll either do back-to-back, like one stream event, one stream main story, or I'll just blaze through main story, or try to at least, and blaze through event and then get back to it or something. I don't know. I haven't had much luck with that before, so I might not do that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. A bit of an update. I did mention it before, but I'm gonna mention it now as well. I'm not doing Wuthering Waves tomorrow. I'm doing Zenless Zone Zero because I didn't get around to doing it on Monday. And to be kind of honest, I'd rather play Zenless than Wuthering Waves. Sorry to the people who like Wuthering Waves. And also, Seth is now on banner, so... yeah. You have to wait for the first R6 room. True, that's kind of one thing I'm not sure. Okay, so what I might do is I'll play through the stages, just, you know, off stream. And that will allow me to unlock... Oh no, but don't the archives disappear? The collab events don't get archived. Or are they staying permanent? That's kind of, that would be an issue, because normally the collab events don't become archived. So I can't just play through all the stages and then watch the first one, and then the story should be there. Oh, there is one way to find out, actually. Let me consult the archives. Because I'm fairly certain... I think it's this one. Oh, it is! Ah. Okay. That's fine then. So, in which case I will play through the second event, but not watch the story. I won't do it on stream or anything. Then I will play... So while that's happening, I'll continue playing the main chapter. And then when the rerun comes around, I'll stream that. And then I'll go back and stream the second bit, so it's going in order and one after the other right away. So that works. Okay, that's much better than I thought then. For some reason, I thought the collab event didn't stay. I was trying to see if I can find any of the other ones. See if they had anything, but no. But yeah, okay, that's a good plan at least then. So for next week, I'll continue streaming the normal game, the main chapter, and then when the rerun comes around, I'll switch over to the rerun event and play that, and then go back and do the story. So that works well. Also, those of you who've been waiting will be happy to know that I will be returning to Valhalla next week as well. I've got that scheduled. I also want to get through that game as well, partly because I want to finish the story, obviously, but also I want to start on another game called Tavern Talk, which is a similar thing. So there's that as well. But yeah, so tomorrow will be will actually be Zenless and not Wuthering Waves like I originally had on the schedule. I did mention it in the community tab, but I know sometimes that doesn't get to everyone, so I'm just going to say that now as well. So Zenless will be tomorrow, and I will be continuing with the story, and I'll be trying to roll for my boy Seth, because apparently he is now on the banner. I thought he was on the banner on the 8th, but apparently he's on the banner now. So I will be damned if I don't get that damn Catboy. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all for me for today, and thank you all for coming. I shall see you all next time. Bye-bye. Yeah, the button. There we go.